All right, folks, if you haven't heard this, Adam Aron were on CNBC. He was talking to the media today on television, and what he mentioned, it's, let's just say shorts can choke on that, all right? So let me update you on what he said and why I think this is something bunch of people were not looking or closing pay attention to, but it has a lot of implications with the current short squeeze we are experiencing, and even further down the road when we are actually on the way of landing to the moon. So what exactly did he say? Well, according to Business Insider, AMC Entertainment soars 40% after its CEO plans more strategic deals to capitalize on interest from retail investors. Not quite true if you have been, doing the analysis as we've been doing for the last 18 months, all right, or 12 months or whatever. So a bunch of media outlets are giving credit to what Adam Aron CEO mentioned on media today, but it's further than that. It may be not far from the truth, but I think it's not the sole and the main reasons. But going back to what he said, all right, while the Hycroft investment is pretty far from home, it does rely on a core competency of our company to understand balance sheets and raising cash and solving liquidity problems, he added to Reuters. In a Monday interview with CNBC, David Faber asked Aron, is that a new core competence of AMC to sort of use these in meme-stocks, that you have to help turn around the fortunes of a company because they're willing to put money behind it? And he responded, I think I have to say the answer is yes, and we proved it, he answered. So far, and this is where it gets really interesting, folks, so pay close attention, please. The deal with Hycroft Mining, which is a gold and silver mining company, has worked, at least on paper, because they haven't cashed yet in. It's very early, on the stage of this investment. AMC purchased Hycroft shares at $107, all right? And after the deal was announced, the stock surged to a high of $2.65 before paring its gains. Hycroft has since raised $139 million by selling stock to investors in a bid to strengthen its balance sheet and grow operations at its gold and silver mine. Now, shares of Hycroft surged nearly 90% today to a high of $240 per share, representing an overall gain of 124% for AMC's initial investment. 124% initial investment. Keep that in mind, all right? We're going to come back to it in just a second here. So Aaron Adam adds, I would like to think there will be more third-party external M&A, merger and acquisitions, announcement going forward. Transformational M&A, it's mandatory. Our shareholder base has given us capital to deploy with a clear expectation that we are going to do exciting things with the money they entrusted to us. So this is where it gets very, very interesting. Why, folks? Because on one hand, people were not understanding why a company like AMC will go and put $28 million in a company that is mining gold and silver. People were just like, what? And people thought it was a crazy move. And yet, at first, it may sound as a crazy move. But the reality is, it is not a crazy move, all right? Because I made a video on this, but people really didn't pay attention. And I think it's still not getting the amount of attention it needs to. Because when you look at what is happening with China potentially getting out of the US dollar as a, global currency, especially when it comes to the way oil and energy and commodities are being traded globally, well, if they get out of, the US dollar in terms of global currency for global trade, it will devalue the current dollar. So in order to capitalize from that, people are betting on gold and silver to skyrocket because these are physical assets that are backing, this global trade. If China or Russia can buy oil in dollars or in yuan, then they can at least trade using gold as a standard to exchange commodities, all right? Because the US are pretty much putting everything they can on sanctions against Russia. So if that happens, you can bet gold can go to $10,000 an ounce. And I shared that with you in analysis last week. Maybe I'm going to do another standalone video so people can be aware of why I think this Hycroft Mining move is definitely a crucial, smart move that maybe people are not seeing now, but if things go south, this can be huge. And you as an AMC shareholder, you will definitely benefit from that even more from, the short squeeze highs. Now, on the other side of things, AMC is now talking about M&As. They're saying we need to change. We need to transform the way our company is operating because we have this huge amount of cash that we need to invest, and that's what they're doing. So he said that we might have other very exciting and interesting M&As, meaning maybe merge with a company, partner with a company, buy a stake equity or ownership into another company. And when you look at what they did with Hycroft is also a company that was kind of targeted by short sellers. So by doing so, going the exact same way that GameStop chair Brian Cohen is doing with Bed Bath and Beyond, not really to the extent of chasing short sellers, but transforming, looking for opportunities to transform the company by being more of an investor company, or which is kind of totally different from the core business that they've been doing. All right, so AMC is not in the business of investing in companies, but it seems like they are now positioning themselves to be, which is definitely a very good, interesting way of sending a clear signal to the market that, hey, we are here to stay and we have the means to actually make sure our company remains as profitable as it never been before. Translation for you holding AMC stock. Even without a short squeeze, all right, AMC is positioning itself to be a tremendous company. But on top of that, it means it attracts the buying pressure from people that will look for value investing. Value investing opportunities are because of what is coming, in the next 6 months, with interest rates and the housing market potentially correcting itself and nobody knowing how the food costs will be. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense that the buying pressure here can continue to increase because we have more and more people looking to hold AMC, not even knowing that this can be acting as a short squeeze, sending the price to, unimaginable highs. Let's just say that, to say the least. All right. So continue to hold, continue to kind of see exactly how things unfold, but looks pretty good for now, folks.